Hello and welcome to Cubs Baseball. It is April 19th of 1969, and we're in Montreal for a two-city road trip that will include 3 games in Montreal, a single game on Saturday and a Sunday doubleheader, and then a Tuesday doubleheader in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. So the Cubs' only 2 wins of the season have come against the Expos this year. Let's see if we can double that total or more in this series. The Cubs trying to break out of a funk, starting out the season only winning 2 of their first 10. The Cubs are going to send Ferguson Jenkins out to the mound for start number 3 today. He comes out with a 3.95 ERA, 102 WHIP, and he will be supported by a lineup of Kessinger, Williams, Santo, Hickman, Banks, Beckert, Hundley, Adolfo Phillips, and then the pitcher, Jenkins, batting 9th. The Expos lineup will be Wills, Bailey, Staub, Jones, Clendenon, Stale, Dyer, Fairley doing the center field duties, and then the pitcher Mike Wegner making his 3rd start of the season. He has pitched in 2 games, making start now number 3. He is 1-0 with a 1.20 ERA. It is 45 degrees in Montreal today. They're still talking about building that dome stadium, but it hasn't happened yet. And the wind is blowing out to left at 14 miles an hour. So as Mike Wegner goes to the mound, the Cubs are sending Don Kessinger up to lead off this ball game. The Cubs coming in with 2 wins against 8 losses. Montreal enters the game with a .500 record of 5 wins and 5 losses. Cubs on a 5-game losing streak, but hoping to change that today. And having taken 2 out of 3 from Montreal last week in Chicago. So, Kessinger at the plate, waiting for the pitch, and that is inside. It is ball 4. So Kessinger draws the leadoff walk, and it brings up Billy Williams. Nobody out, runner on first. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Billy Williams. He grounds it to third. Picked up, thrown to second, relay to first, and that is a 5-4-3 double play. So the base runner is removed from the base paths, and there are now 2 outs with Ron Santo, the batter. 2-2 count to Santo. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Santo strikes out, way out in front of that changeup, and the Cubs' half of the first inning is over. We're going to the bottom of the first. It is a 0-0 ball game. Ferguson Jenkins looking for his first win of the season, facing off against Maury Wills. Here's a 1-2 count, and Jenkins looking for the sign and the pitch. Lined into center field, Phillips on the run, and he dives and makes the catch for out number 1. Phillips looks like he's injured on the play. It's not serious, and he's going to remain in the game as he talks to the trainer and decides he's going to stay out there in center field. So Bailey now the batter with 1 out, nobody on. 0-2 pitch from Jenkins. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with a sinker that was down and away. And now Rusty Staub is the batter. 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a full count pitch to Staub. Grounder towards second. Beckert picks it up, throws over to first, and that will retire the side. So Jenkins works a perfect first inning. We go to the top of the second of a 0-0 game. Hickman now batting for the Cubs, leading off against Wegner. 2-1 count. Hickman waiting for the pitch. Popped up right side. The right fielder is coming in, and he is going to make the catch for out number 1. Ernie Banks now batting with 1 out and nobody on. Banks waiting for the 1-2 pitch from Wegner. And he drives that one to right field, but again, right at the right fielder. This time Staub hustling to his left, making the catch for out number 2. Glenn Beckert batting now. 2 outs and nobody on. 2-1 count. Beckert waiting for the pitch. Lined into center field. That one is finally... Oh, no, it's not. The center fielder Fairley lays out to make the catch, and that ends the inning. I thought for sure that was going to get down for a base hit. So the Cubs don't score. They're retired in order. We're going to the bottom of the second inning of a scoreless ball game. Jenkins facing Jones. 3-0 count. Jenkins with the pitch. That is inside. It's ball 4, and Jenkins issues the walk. That is his first walk of the game. and it brings up Don Clendenin. 1-2 count. Jenkins working. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Chased a fastball that was down and in, and Jenkins has his second strikeout of the day. Stale now the batter. 1 out, 1 man on. Stale waiting for the pitch from Jenkins, and it's popped up to center field. Adolfo Phillips on the run toward left center, makes the catch, and that is out number 2. The wind carried that one quite a ways, but it stayed in the park, and Phillips was able to get under it for the out. Dyer now batting, 2 outs, 1 man on. We're going to see a pickoff throw over to first, and there the runner gets back, so Dyer doesn't go anywhere. Or Dyer is batting. Jones doesn't go anywhere. 2 outs now, 1 man on. Here's a 2-1 pitch and a grounder toward third. Santo scoops it up, throws to second to retire the lead runner and end the inning. We're going now to the top of the 3rd inning. It is a scoreless ball game in Montreal. Hundley now batting for the Cubs. Top of the 3rd inning. Full count pitch. Hundley waiting. Here's the pitch from Wegner. Inside for ball 4. So Hundley draws the walk. He heads down to first. And now Phillips is the batter. Nobody out. 1 man on. 1 strike is the pitch. And there's a pop-up behind the plate. Heading toward the wall. Toward the backstop. And making the catch is... Oh, but he makes an error. He drops the ball. So Phillips will live to see another pitch from Wegner. Here's a 1-2 count, and Phillips strikes out looking. So Wegner gets him with the changeup, and that is his 2nd strikeout of the game. Brings up Ferguson Jenkins. This is going to be an obvious bunting situation with a runner on first and 1 out. Here's the first pitch to Jenkins. He lays down the bunt right in front of the plate. Catcher pops up, throws down to first, and that is out number 2. The runner, Hundley, advances to second, and now Kessinger is the batter. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. 1-2 count, and that ball gets away. Goes all the way to the backstop. So Hundley advancing down to third, and now a 2-2 count to Kessinger with 2 outs and a runner 90 feet away. Here's a full count pitch. Inside for ball 4. So Kessinger draws the walk. There are now runners on the corners with 2 outs, and Billy Williams is the batter. Cubs trying to apply some pressure here in the top of the 3rd inning. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Billy Williams. Popped up to center field. I believe that's going to be pretty high, and the center fielder has time to get under it to end the inning. So the Cubs leave 2. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It is a 0-0 ball game. Jim Fairley is going to bat in the bottom of the 3rd inning against Jenkins. Here's a 2-2 count, and Jenkins with the pitch. Liner over Banks' head into right field. That's the first base hit of this ball game. So the Expos get a leadoff single in the bottom of the 3rd, and it brings up the pitcher, Wegner. 0-2 count. Wegner lays down the bunt with 2 strikes. Hundley jumps up and throws down to first to retire him for out number 1. The runner advances to second, Fairley, and it brings up Maury Wills. 1 out, runner in scoring position. 2-1 count from Jenkins. Popped up to center field. Phillips coming in fast. He has a line on it. He makes the catch, and that is out number 2. Bailey now the batter. 2 outs, 1 man on. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Bailey, and that's popped up. That's going to be behind second base, and the shortstop Kessinger makes the play to end the inning. We are going to the top of the 4th of a scoreless ball game. Ron Santo coming up. Cubs still looking for their first hit in this ball game off Wegner. Here's a 2-2 count, and Santo waiting for the pitch. Lined up the middle, that's a base hit, and Santo breaks through for the Cubs with a leadoff single. So let's see if the Cubs can get something going here in the top of the 4th inning. Hickman now the batter. Nobody out. Runner on first. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Hickman, and he watches strike 3 float by on a changeup. So that is the first out of the inning, 3rd strikeout of the day for Wegner, and it brings up Ernie Banks. 1 out, 1 man on. 0-2 pitch to Ernie Banks. Here it comes. Check swing, strike 3. That was a fastball. He thought it might have been inside, and he checked his swing, but it turned out to be strike 3. Beckert now the batter. 2 outs. Santo on first. 1-2 count to Glenn Beckert. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 called with the big curveball. So Beckert strikes out looking. The runner is stranded. We're going to the bottom of the 4th of a scoreless ball game. Staub facing Jenkins. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Popped up to right. Hickman chasing. Long run, and that's going to be gone. So Hickman runs out of room in right field, and Staub hits a solo home run, 379 feet, to straightaway right. 1-0 Expos now in the bottom of the fourth, brings up Mac Jones. Nobody out, nobody on, 1-1 count from Jenkins. Liner past Santo down the third base line. This is going to be extra bases. It rattles around in the corner a little bit. Staub is going to slide into second with a double. Jones, slides into second with a double. So, Staub is the one that hit the home run. Clendon now the batter. Nobody out. Runner on second. Here's a 1-1 count and the pitch from Jenkins. Lined into right field. Hickman coming in fast. He plays it on a hop. He seems to always do that. So Hickman gets it back into the infield quickly. The Expos now have first and third with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stale the batter. Jenkins facing Stale. Runners on the corners. Nobody out. He's got a jam to work himself out of here. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And lined into center field. Going all the way to the wall. That's going to drive into extra bases for Stale. The throw goes to third. Stale's trying to extend it to a triple, and he is safe. So 2 runs are driven in. The Expos now have a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Dyer now the batter, nobody out. Runner on third, 1-2 count. Ferguson Jenkins working. Popped up. Shallow center field. Phillips coming in. He makes the catch. The throw comes home. The runner comes home. The throw is, let's see, the throw is late. So Stale knocks over the catcher, knocks the ball loose, and the run is scored. So 4 runs in the inning for the Expos. And this brings up Fairley now. There's 1 out, nobody on. 1 strike count is the pitch from Jenkins. Lined into center field for another base hit. So Phillips takes the ball, gets it back into this cutoff man. A 1-out single, and it brings up the pitcher, Wegner. 1 out, 1 man on. Is Jenkins going to get out of this inning? Here's a 1-ball count, and there's a bunt back to the mound. Jenkins has it. Throws over to first. That is the 2nd out of the inning. So Jenkins retiring the pitcher, Wegner, on the bunt play, and it brings up Maury Wills. 2 outs, runner in scoring position, 3-1 count, and the pitch from Jenkins. Lined in right back at the pitcher. Jenkins got his glove in front of it and caught it for the 3rd out of the inning. Man, that looked like that was headed to center field for another base hit. So the Expos score 4 times. We're going to the top of the 5th of a 4-0 ball game. Hundley facing Wegner in the top of the 5th inning. 2-2 count. Wegner with the pitch. And Hundley pops it up. Shallow left field. Is that going to drop? No, it is caught for out number 1. Adolfo Phillips now the batter with 1 out, nobody on. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Adolfo Phillips. That is strike 3 called, and Phillips takes strike 3 looking, bringing up Ferguson Jenkins with 2 outs and nobody on. 1 strike count. Jenkins waiting for the pitch. Liner over the third baseman's head into left field. Jenkins comes up with a 2-out single, and that's going to bring up Don Kessinger with 2 outs. 1 man on, 1-1 count. Kessinger waiting for the pitch. He pops it up to third. Gonna get under it and make the catch is Bailey for out number 3. So the Cubs strand another runner. We're going to the bottom of the 5th of a 4-0 ball game. Jenkins coming back out to work the 5th. He's gonna face Bailey, Staub, and Jones here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's a full count, and Jenkins with the pitch. Strike 3 called. Bailey checked his swing, but the umpire rung him up anyway, and now Rusty Staub is coming up. He hit a home run his last time off Jenkins. Let's see if Jenkins changes his strategy here. 2-2 count, 1 out, grounder toward first. Banks has it, steps on the base, and that is out number 2. Jones now facing off with Jenkins with 2 outs and nobody on. Here's a 2-2 count, and the pitch from Ferguson Jenkins. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him with the sinker. 4 strikeouts on the day for Jenkins. We're going to the top of the 6th of a 4-0 ball game. Billy Williams coming up for the Cubs. The Cubs need to get something going here in the top of the 6th. They're down by 4. 2-2 count. Williams waiting for the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So got him with the fastball. And that'll be strikeout number 7 for Wegner. It brings up Ron Santo. 2-1 count to Santo. Here's the pitch. Grounder toward third. Picked up by his counterpart. Thrown over to first. And that is out number 2. Hickman now batting. 2 outs and nobody on. 2-1 count from Wegner. Here's another pitch and a pop up to center field. Shallow but playable. Center fielder coming in to make the catch for out number 3. So the Cubs do not score. They're retired in order. We're going to the bottom of the 6th of a 4-0 ball game. Jenkins facing Clendenin here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here is the first pitch from Jenkins. Comes into the inning with 95 pitches thrown. There's a liner to center field. Phillips, however, reacts quickly and gets there for out number 1. Stale now batting. 1 out, nobody on. 2-2 count. Jenkins working with the pitch. Liner up the middle. That will be a base hit. Over the second baseman's head, out into center field. So that is a 1-out single. And it brings up Dyer with 1 out, 1 man on. 1 ball count, Jenkins working. Pop up, left side, Santo coming over. Hundley calls him off, makes the catch for out number 2. Fairley now the batter, 2 outs, 1 man on. Here's a 2-1 count from Jenkins, and the pitch popped up to left field. Billy Williams chasing, coming in, makes the catch. That is out number 3. So the Expos get a runner. He is stranded. We're going to the top of the 7th of a 4-0 ball game. Ernie Banks is going to lead off against Wegner here in the top of the 7th inning. Banks is 0 for 2 today. Full count pitch from Wegner. Liner on the ground, headed over to first, and Clendenin picks it up and steps on the base for out number 1. Glenn Beckert now the batter, 1 out, nobody on. Here's a 3-0 count and the pitch to Beckert. Low and away for ball 4, so Beckert draws the walk. And now Randy Hundley is the batter, 1 out, 1 man on. 1 strike count, Hundley waiting for the pitch. Grounder toward third, picked up, thrown to second, relay to first, and that is going to be a 5-4-3 double play to end the inning. So the Cubs do not score. We're going to the bottom of the 7th of a 4-0 ball game. Wegner facing Jenkins here in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs are going to have Jenkins batting second in the next half inning. So this is definitely going to be his final inning in this appearance. Here's a 2-2 count and the pitch to Jenkins. Here it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So he got the pitcher to strike out swinging. And that is going to cause, that's going to mean that we're going to warm up in the bullpen a relief pitcher. And it's going to be Hank Aguirre. We're going to visit the mound. Jenkins says, to be honest, I feel just fine. I could throw 200 pitches if I needed to, but whatever. So Jenkins facing Maury Wills. 1 out, nobody on. First pitch from Jenkins. Here it comes. Grounder toward short. Kessinger picks it up, throws over to first, and that is out number 2. Jenkins got him to drive that forkball down into the ground, and now Bailey is the batter. 2 outs, nobody on. 1-2 count from Jenkins, and he gets him to swing and miss for strike 3 at a sinker. So 6 strikeouts on the day for Jenkins. We're going to the top of the 8th of a 4-0 ball game. So now Aguirre is going to sit just for a moment. We don't want him to get too tired out there throwing too much in the bullpen. So Phillips facing Wegner, top of the 8th inning. Here's a 1-strike count. Phillips waiting for the pitch. Liner into the gap in right center field. That's going all the way to the wall. Phillips is going to have extra bases to lead off the inning. Rounding first, heading for second. He's going to slide into second with a leadoff double. So a promising start to the inning for the Cubs here in the top of the 8th inning. Phillips standing on second, and now a pinch hitter will be brought in for Ferguson Jenkins. Excuse me. And this is going to be Willie Smith coming up from the left side against the righty Wegner here in the top of the 8th inning. There's a runner on second, nobody out. Smith with a 1-strike count waiting for the pitch. And he pops that one in foul territory. The third baseman chases, and Smith is retired for out number 1. Kessinger now batting with 1 out, 1 man on. 1 ball count, Kessinger waiting for the pitch. Grounder toward first, picked up. steps on first, and that is out number 2. So Kessinger grounds out to the first baseman Clendenin, and it brings up Billy Williams. Runner 90 feet away. Cubs trying to cut into this 4-run deficit. Here's a 1-strike count, and the pitch to Billy Williams, and he drives that one deep right field. That is going to be gone. Billy Williams crushes it to right center field. The right fielder didn't even really react. 422 feet, and the Expos lead has been cut in half. It is now 4-2 in the top of the 8th inning. And Ron Santo is the next batter with 2 outs, nobody on. Full count pitch to Ron Santo. Here it comes. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Santo ends up striking out to end the inning. However, the Cubs score twice on the Williams home run. We're going to the bottom of the 8th of a 4-2 ball game. So Aguirre is warming up, but he is going to be brought out. And he will pitch right now. Aguirre is going to face Staub, Jones, and Clendenin here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Aguirre, we're going to actually visit the mound. We're going to say, hey, what's going on? And he says, we're good. Don't worry about me. So, bottom of the 8th inning, Aguirre brought in to face the middle of the Expos lineup. Here's a 3-2 count and the pitch. Outside. Oh, that's a ground ball to first. He chased one that was outside. That looked like it was going to be ball 4. But Banks picks it up, steps on the base. That is out number 1. Jones now facing Aguirre. 1 out, nobody on. 2-0 count. And the pitch from Aguirre. Grounder towards second. Beckert dives. He has it. Oh, and he loses it. Oh, Beckert had his glove on it, and he couldn't find the handle. So, that's an infield single from a very receptive home field official scorer. And now Don Clendenin is the batter with 1 out, 1 man on. Here's a 1-1 count and the pitch to Clendenin. Liner into left field. Billy Williams coming in. He's going to play it on a hop. The throw goes down to third. And the Expos now have first and second with 1 out. And that is going to rouse further activity in the Cub bullpen. We're going to see that the pitcher, Joe Decker, is going to be warmed up. So Aguirre facing Stale, 1 out, 2 men on, 2-strike count. And there's a liner past the second baseman into right field. So that's another base hit. The runner's coming home, the throw comes home, the slide, and he is safe. So the Expos score their 5th run of the game, and now they have a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Aguirre is facing Dyer with 1 out and 2 men on. 1 ball count, Aguirre with the pitch. Grounder to second, picked up, thrown to short, relay to first, and that will end the inning. So the Expos score a run. We're going to the top of the 9th of a 5-2 ball game. Decker is going to sit back down. Wegner is going to try to finish out this game. He's going to face Hickman, Banks, and Beckert here in the top of the 9th inning. Here's a 1-2 count and the pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. So Hickman strikes out swinging, and it brings up Ernie Banks. With 1 out, nobody on. Wegner facing Banks. 1 ball count. Here's the pitch. Grounder towards second. Picked up. Thrown over to first. That is out number 2. Beckert now the batter. 2 outs. Nobody on base. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Grounder towards short. Picked up. Thrown over to first. And that will end the ball game. So the Cubs drop this contest 5-2. The Cubs score 2 runs on 4 hits with no errors. The Expos score 5 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. Cubs dropping to 2-9 on the season, while the Expos improved to 6-5. Player of the game is the Expos' Mike Wegner. He goes to 2-0. He has 9 innings thrown, a complete game, 4-hit, 2-run performance with 4 walks and 9 strikeouts. Jenkins threw 7 innings of 7-hit, 4-run baseball with 1 walk and 6 strikeouts. And Aguirre threw an inning of relief, allowing another run to score. Well, thank you for watching Cubs Baseball.